What is up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? We got a new subscriber last night. Thank you. I appreciate your support and welcome to the team. Thank you for being here. We're officially at 140, and if you're interested, I recommend checking out the trauma dumping playlist. Those are the videos I'm most proud of. Get you to know me a lot more, and then everything else that I talk about starts to make a little bit more sense. But whether you're here for one video or you're here for all of them, I appreciate your support. Thank you. I just wanted to bitch about my day. I had one hell of a week and I wanted to bitch about work. So that's what this video is going to be. Instacart has really been chafing my ass lately. I had an order where a customer ordered a shit ton of kombucha, and the Target did not offer that, does not sell it. This location does not sell it, so I had to refund half the order. It was a $200 order, and I had to refund $70 worth of items, which not only brings your pay down, but affects your shopper quality. Now, I called Instacart and told them, like, hey, this store doesn't sell any of these items. I'm not refunding this stuff because I want to. There's no substitution for this, and this store quite literally does not sell these items. So there's no reason that should go against my shopper quality, which if it gets bad enough, you stop getting orders. And like, there's nothing I can do. And they're like, okay, well, we understand. We'll cancel the bet. No, don't cancel the bet. I still have $130 worth of items. I'm letting you know that this store does not sell these items. Okay? So every driver in the future that has to pick up these items will inevitably have to refund them, and that should not count against them. Oh, well, it won't count against you. Ended up doing so. Very next order, because this was a stacked order, I got a customer, and they implemented this new thing where now used to be a customer would either pick their substitutions for items in case they were out, or they would request a refund. 8 out of 10 customers, I would say, request a refund. But if you're able to talk to them and communicate with them and take pictures of what they do have, generally you can land on a substitution that they will agree on. Instacart no longer allows that. If the customer requests a refund, you quite literally have to refund it and ask the customer to add, like, say, like today, customer orders Jim Beam Rye. They don't have it, so he says, okay, just get regular Jim Beam. You do, but you're unable to do that because the app won't let you. The only option it gives you is to refund it. The only way you can get that Jim Beam is if the customer now goes in and adds that. And one thing, the reason why that's annoying, I know that sounds minor, but the reason why that's annoying is one thing you learn in customer service is that you never ask your customers to do something. You don't want to put more work on the customer. You know, so this new substitution system is stupid. But anyway, so I had this order where that's what happened. This customer, I think 4 or 5 items, we were communicating the whole time, and 4 or 5 items were out. So we found substitutions that he would like, and Instacart wouldn't let me do it. I had to refund it. So all the refunds that day affected my shopper quality, brought it down tremendously, and like I told the customer, you can add these items that we found as substitutions if you want. And no, of course he didn't want to do that. He's already, like, especially if you're not fluent in the app or whatever, they usually choose the route of no, I'll do it some other time. So then that's money off of what you were going to make, and now you're refunding an item, which is going to impact your shopper quality. So all the refunds that day were just unnecessary and inevitable, and because of the app. And then my last order that I did 2 days ago, Instacart has this problem with produce where I don't know what their deal is. They think shit weighs less than it does, right? So this guy ordered a bundle of beets and it was sold by the bundle, $6 each. It was not sold by the pound. That's what Instacart had it in as, is that it was sold by the pound. That this guy ordered a bundle of beets and ordered 0.18 pounds of beets. I want you to understand a singular beet weighs more than 0.18 pounds. But because it's a bundle and it's not sold by the pound, it's sold by each, you get the beets, all right, you're inputting, found it, and then it asked you for the weight. Obviously, a bundle is going to weigh like 2-3 pounds, and then it won't let you get it. So I had to call Instacart. See, here's where I differ from most people. Most people would just refund the item at that point and move on. I care about the customer. I do. I enjoy customer service, oddly, because I like helping people, even if they shit on me. And so I called Instacart. Was like, hey, dude, you're wrong on this. You're saying that the customer ordered 0.18 beets. It literally says bundle of beets, and you're saying the weight is 0.18. And it's not sold by the pound, it's sold by each, $6 each. So can you please, allow me to input this item, because the weight doesn't matter, it's sold by each. And then they said they did, they put it in. And so I directly asked them, now, I want you to understand that what you had was $1, $2, sorry, and that it was sold by the pound, $2 a pound, 0.18 pounds. Now that this is $6 and it jumped up $4, well, everything has to be exact for the card to go through. So is this going to go through whenever I get to checkout? Yes, it'll be fine. We adjusted it. I go to checkout. Card declines. I spent 30 minutes on this order that should have only taken 30 minutes trying to get this guy his beets, because Instacart is too fucking stupid to understand how much produce weighs. And then after all that, ended up having to take the beets off so the order would go through, because they didn't fix it. They just put in what I could have put in, which is 0.18 pounds, and then went about my way. But it wouldn't have gone through because it wasn't 0.18 pounds. It was 3 pounds. It wasn't $2. It was $6. So, I spent 30 minutes so this guy could get his beets, just for it to not happen, have to take it out, him not get it. And now I've refunded another item, so my shopper quality dips down again, despite me not doing any. The app quite literally wouldn't allow me to get this item. Okay, I'm giving you all this context because I want to let you know how my last couple days have went. Ever since that has happened and my shopper quality has went downhill, I want you to understand that they punish you basically anytime you make a substitution or a refund that affects your shopper quality, which is stupid. And they compare you, what do they say? They compare you to other shoppers, and your shopper quality is, some aspects of your shopper quality are worse than other shoppers who shopped at similar stores and times. So basically, if you go to the store on Sunday after the truck comes in and fills the store and find an item, and I happen to shop on Saturday when the store is empty and there's out of a lot of items, somehow in Instacart's mind, they think you're a worse shopper. Genius. So, because my shopper quality went down, yesterday I did not get a single order in the middle of July. It could not be busier. It's Branson, a tourist town that gets 3 to 4 million people a year, and suddenly went from working 8-hour shifts to I cannot get a single order. And Instacart's one of those where the order goes out to everybody and the first person to click accept gets it, right? So even though I didn't get an order yesterday, it's not like you got a day off, right? Because you're still waking up early, you're still getting ready for work, and you're still staring at the phone all damn day because if an order comes in and you blink, you'll miss it. And so today, I had the app on for 4 hours. Now we're at a total of 10 hours of the app being on, and I have not gotten a single order. So I call Instacart and tell them, hey, what the fuck? Like, all the refunds I've called you so many times, and you keep saying this isn't going to affect this, but it does. It is inevitable that I'm going to have to refund something when you're selling stuff telling customers that items are sold at this store when they're not. It is inevitable that I'm going to have to substitute something sometimes, and it's not really fair to say, well, another shopper found it earlier this week, so that means you're worse than them. Look at my customer rating. Look at how many customers have raised their tip, because I've had more customers raise their tip than keep it the same, which I think is due to the fact that it's a longer service. You and the customer get to know each other and text for, the span of over the time that you shop. So if you're doing a good job at communicating with them and meeting their needs, they usually raise the tip. So I get a lot of raised tips. Look at that. And then tell me that I'm worse than the other shoppers when I'm getting told I'm the only one that actually communicates. Okay. Like, I'm not getting orders because I had to make refunds all week that weren't my fault. What the fuck? And I gave up. And I said, fuck it. And I turned on Uber Eats. It's the middle of July. Maybe Uber Eats is better. I haven't done it since the I'm quitting Uber video. So it's been like 3 months. And I did. I got an order that was actually pretty decent. 13 for $5. Can't ask for better than that on Uber Eats. Traffic is pretty shitty in Branson, but not bad. But because I didn't get anything yesterday, that means now I have to work on my day off. That's how that works. If suddenly I just don't get something one day, well, then that means now I have to work on my day off. I basically just traded days off, but this wasn't really a day off because it's not like I was spent relaxing, doing chores, and actually having a day off. No, it was spent staring at the phone, thinking that any second I was going to go to work. So then you end up having to work an extra day, and that's why I keep having to work so many 6 to 7 day weeks. Or I just will work but won't make enough money, so I gotta make up that difference by working. Turn on Uber Eats, I get a decent order, and I shit you not, after 10 hours of having the app open and not getting a single order, the second I clicked accept on Uber, hopped in the car, I got a good Instacart order. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and accept them both. And I'm just going to pray to God that I'm able to get this Uber Eats order done before I can get to the store. Because if you accept an Instacart order and you don't get to the store by a certain time, you lose it. I knew that the Uber Eats order, that the restaurant was like a mile away from the store, and that the customer was going to be a mile away from the store. It was a 2-mile trip, basically the opposite, passing the store and going a mile that way, and then come back to the store. And I shit you not, I got it done, and I got back to the store 1 minute before it was taken away from me. It said that if you don't get to the store by, I think it like 6:48, that you get it taken away from you. And I got to the store at 6:47 and started shopping. Got this order done. But then dealt with the Jim Beam thing that I just talked about. It was a very simple order. It was a double order, and it was only 5 items. And one of them was the Jim Beam thing. So I had to ask the customer, hey, it's not letting me substitute. It automatically refunded it. Can you add the regular Jim Beam so I can get it? And so not only is this frustrating on the customer's end, but it's also making you take more time shopping. And imagine that you have to do this on a long shopping list where there's 90 items, and you got to have the customer do that 10 times. You're wasting so much time waiting on the customer. Great job, Instacart. Phenomenal. I mean, the money that you take from us is going to great use. Your code, your app, it functions great. You know how many times I've had to refund or substitute an item because your one job that you're designed to do, which is scan barcodes, wouldn't work? Amazing. And then that counts against me too. So I get the items, he adds the Jim Beam that he wants, and I go and deliver it. I get to the customer, you have to scan their ID and whatnot when you're dropping off alcohol. And then I click next. You don't get the second customer's address until you complete the first one. I hit next, I hit confirm, complete delivery, and then it says customer app is out of sync. Back to batch, it said some shit like that. I wish I would have screenshotted it. And then so I clicked back to batch, and then it said start delivery again for the customer that I just did. So I had to embarrassingly go knock on their door again and say, hey, for some reason it didn't take your ID. I don't know what's up. Can I scan your ID again? Not a good look. Hope they don't lower your tip. So I scanned their ID again. It accepted it. Hit next. Got in the car. Started reversing. Hit complete. And then it did it again. It just, for no reason at all, said, yep, okay, that worked. Next. All right, complete delivery. Oh, customer out of sync, whatever. Restart delivery. So I had to call Instacart again and waste 30 minutes of my time that the second customer is now waiting on, who's probably going to tip me less now that they're waiting so fucking long. And I had to text the first customer that, like, hey, this isn't going through. I know that on your end it still says it's active and the order is still active. So I'm on the phone with Instacart right now and trying to deal with it. And guess what? After all that, they took away their tip. And called them just to get them to complete this fucking order because, like I said, I can't be on my way to the second customer while I'm calling them because I don't have the address. Until I complete the first delivery, I am not given the address of the second customer. So we're just wasting time. I get to the second customer, or I call Instacart. I spend 30 minutes on the phone with them just to get them to complete this. And they're like, oh yeah, sorry about that. We don't know what happened. The app must have glitched. Yeah, no biggie. I mean, you take billions from us and you pay us $5 an hour and just don't reinvest it into your app. No problem. Good. I'm glad that we got to take 30 minutes doing this. I cannot wait for the customer to tip me less due to the fact that they had to wait. Every fucking time I'm doing an order, who I have in mind is the customer. Fuck Instacart and whatever. My concern is the customer. Getting them their shit quickly and efficiently as possible. And Instacart is just doing everything to get in the way of that. And so I do it. I get it dropped off to her. It's a girl working at Taco Bell, so fortunately it didn't really matter to her that it took so damn long. But imagine it wasn't. Imagine it was a different customer and they're getting pissed, rightfully so, because it's taken so long for them to get their shit. And then does Instacart come out and say, hey, we're sorry, it was actually on no, fuck no. No, now your shit's getting impacted. Your seconds per item is getting impacted because you're spending so long on the phone. You're late because you had to spend so long on the phone. Do you think that shit's Instacart's taking the blame? No. So I was late on both orders because their app wouldn't work, and I was so frustrated by this point that I wanted to just go home, but I was like, fuck it, we're out here. We haven't quite hit our goal yet. We might as well do one more Instacart order or Uber order, and I'm just going to drive home. If I get an Uber order on the way home, we'll do it. And we did. We got a very simple, an 11 for 2 on Uber Eats and finished it. And after all that stress, now I can afford to buy diapers. Just kidding, because Uber actually decided to take $5 from me today because they overpaid me on May 23rd, which is funny because I have not worked for them since May fucking 11th. So, instead of paying me the $24 that I made for them today, they only gave me $18 and said that they overpaid me the last time I worked on May 23rd, which I did not work. So never mind. After everything, I don't get to buy diapers because I'm $6 short because this fucking company gets away with stealing your money. Like, this is such an easy job. And all the apps, DoorDash, Uber, Instacart, they all make it harder than it needs to be. You sit on the phone with them for 30 minutes for an item, or sit on the phone with the customer for 10 minutes for each substitution. You're killing your hour. You're getting paid less than minimum wage because the app doesn't work. But the point I'm trying to make and the frustrations that I'm trying to vent about, I understand might seem so fucking minor, but Instacart is literally starting to hinder what you're supposed to do. What is Instacart? Well, it's a shopping app. You shop for people, right? So the whole point of the app is to scan items and then GPS you to the customer. It won't scan items. It won't get items correct. It'll literally tell customers that the store has items that it doesn't, and then you have to sit here and deal with all this bullshit. And then you inevitably have to do refunds that aren't really your fault. It's the fault of the two multi-billion-dollar industries that can't fucking let the customer know which items are at what location, and then it falls back on you. That's a common trend I'm starting to notice with these gig apps, is that they fuck up, their app sucks, they don't reinvest their money, and then they blame you. Like, I could literally shit out better code, dude. How do you guys fuck this up? That's your app's job, is to scan items, and it sucks at that, and your GPS is wrong more often than it's right. Uber and DoorDash, what's their main function? To let you know what the customer ordered and to give you a GPS to them. Somehow, some way, it manages to fuck that up more often than it gets it right. When you're late because you had to call them over Beats, well, that's your fault. When you had to refund something because the store didn't sell what Instacart said they did, well, that's your fault. When you have to refund something because the billion-dollar corporation can't scan an item, well, that's your fault. And so now I'm getting no orders. Awesome. That was my day. How was yours? That was my week. And now I get to, instead of, tomorrow being my Friday, I have to work Sunday now. And then Monday I have a bunch of doctor's appointments in the morning. So awesome. Just fucking great. I didn't get to make any money yesterday. Somehow we hit our goal today, which is just insane. If Uber Eats is going to continue to be good, then I guess we can rock Uber Eats in the summer. But the fact is Uber Eats is not going to be good in the winter, as we found out. Instacart actually is, because people don't want to shop in the winter, so it's not bad. But if my shopper quality keeps inevitably going down because I'm making substitutions, which is inevitable, then yeah, man, come this winter, I will not be able to shop. Like, all these apps, it seems like the more you care about the customer and the more you care about doing a good job, fuck you. Just fuck you. Like, I cannot believe that this is a shopping app where you shop for customers and you are punished if you have to make a substitution or a refund, because that is inevitable. These jobs set you up to fail. Uber Eats tip baiting is allowed. Customers are allowed to lie about you, and then now, before you know it, your customer rating is lower than shit and you're not getting any orders. Oh, on Instacart, oh man, you've substituted too many times. Your shopper quality sucks. You're not getting any orders. And that's where I'm at with these apps. I would love to get a better job. I'm sure that's what the people that made it through 5 minutes on this video are gonna fucking say. But I have to bring my daughter with me until she's potty trained and old enough to go to pre-K. That's why I'm doing these jobs in the fucking first place. I get it. I should just get a better job like you with your Cheeto dusted fingers and your fucking allowance money in your goddamn basement. But I'm doing the best that I can. I'm allowed to fucking complain about my job. I would love to get a better one. Unfortunately, I'm stuck. This isn't meant to be a dig on customers or anything. That was my tipping video. This is a dig on you multi-billion-dollar gig apps that have one function, and it's to write code and make your app work, and you can't even fucking do that right. And then you blame your worker for it. So then all the good workers end up quitting, and then you get a bunch of yes men that take $5 orders that take you 3 hours long, that do shitty customer service, that don't bother communicating with anybody. But as long as you're making money, right? Lick my taint.